So we are here to give you guys the Daisy Award.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming over to me. So I'm going to read to you the nomination that was put in for both of you. I'm sure you probably know why you won it at this point. But so just so everyone knows, so the Daisy Award is given monthly. Nominations, we get lots and lots and lots of nominations from all over the place. And then they're blinded, so the names are taken out and the locations. And then our shared governance nurses vote on them every month. So this was chosen by your peers, which I think, even makes it all the more meaningful. So they recognized how extraordinary this was and how extraordinary both of you are. So I will read to you what was written. So Jessica had just completed her shift when a group of teenagers in the Torresdale parking garage approached her. The boys had approached her as they realized that possibly she was an employee. They explained that their friend had been injured and needed medical attention. Jessica, seeing that the boy was injured and pale, sprang into action.
I don't look it, but I can see
it. You do look it. Jessica went to the main entrance of the hospital to bring a wheelchair to the injured young man. She encountered Erica, leaving after her shift for the day, and together both Erica and Jessica assisted the boy into the wheelchair and transported him into the ED for him to be cared for. They reassured the young man that he would be well cared for by the ED staff and that he was in good hands. The boy's parents had arrived to the ED as well to support their son during the injury. Jessica and Erica demonstrated true commitment to our community, exemplary of the Torresdale nurse. Both nurses supported this patient and his friends through a challenging moment in their young lives. They were compassionate and kind and remained calm during a challenging situation. Jessica and Erica truly portrayed Jefferson's mission, We Improve Lives, as their impact on this young man and his friends will be lasting. Their actions align with our Jefferson values of putting people first, as they were service-minded and respectful. Jessica and Erica embraced our value of do the right thing when they encountered a safety issue and acted upon it. We are so very fortunate to have nurses such as Jessica and Erica working here at the Torresdale campus to serve our patients and the surrounding community. I'm sure all of these people would say the same thing when you spring into action at the beginning of every shift. So congratulations. Thank you both. I think you're our first joint winners.
Oh, look at us.
I know. I like that. I think that's true. I don't remember having a joint.
I don't remember seeing any pictures of two people. So.
No, and well deserved. So, were you surprised?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know.
Never thought it would happen.
Come on.
I've been here quite a few years, so.
We just heard how quickly you spring into action.
I know, I did. I was once called someone's angel in Scrubs, and they put my Daisy in, and I didn't win, so I was like, if I didn't win because of that, I was like, I'm never going to win.
Here you are.
Yes.
I think anytime anybody even writes a nomination, that's huge for someone to take the time
absolutely.
to do that. And, if you think about what you guys do every single day, you could win a Daisy Award every day, really, if we had more of them to give, truthfully, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So tell me about, so it sounds like you were there first. Can you tell me about what happened?
I was leaving work, and a couple of teenagers, but they were older teenagers, came up to me and they asked if I worked here. And I said yes. And first I was like, are they going to attack me? Am I going to get jumped?
That was my thought too.
And then I saw their other friends at the top of the hill that goes to the garage top, like the roof. And I was like, oh, it looks like someone is truly injured. But still in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm going to go up there and they're going to jump me. But
you went.
I did. I was like, this may be a bad choice.
What made you go?
Because if it was my daughter, I would have wanted somebody to help her.
Nice. Because if we were in a different kind of meeting, we would say, hey, follow your instinct and don't don't go to dark places with strangers.
And it was later on, and there wasn't a lot of people leaving, so I would have been on my own. So I was like, but I thought I could have probably kicked them and ran. So I went up, and you could see that his knee looked a little messed up, and he was very pale.
They were playing on bikes.
There was no bikes around them. There was nothing around them, and
They're playing football.
right,
Ah,
and they
they
were
were playing
tackling
football.
each other,
Awesome.
right? And I was like, well, that was a bad choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, okay, I'm gonna get you a wheelchair and we'll wheel you into the hospital. And then as I was walking out, I still was a little hesitant doing it by myself, and that's when I saw Erica coming out with Nancy.
I feel like we have to give Nancy a shout
We
out.
do.
All right.
She's upset that she's not.
She's
in
not
all
part
this.
of it.
Oh,
Nancy
yeah.
has young kids, and I was like, me and Jess have it. You can get involved. So then she feels like she's getting left out of all this stuff. And then, of course, now we win the day week. So.
We'll
And
get
she's
her
not
out.
even here today to get
Yeah.
any Fritz.
That's true. We have to save her
We
one.
will.
So you saw these guys.
Yeah, which
Eric
worked
and-
out well because I was
Good.
glad it was somebody I knew
Yeah.
and somebody that would help me. So I went in, I got the wheelchair, I came back outside, and Erica was asking where they were, and I pointed them out. And then I knew that if they were going to attack, that we had two people.
I said the same thing to her as we were walking up. I said, are we about to get robbed?
You too.
You never
But
know.
They were young, so.
Yeah.
We're not going to put you in the workplace safety video.
No, definitely not.
But yeah, so we just went up. They couldn't get a hold of the parents. They were kind of a little stressed about that. We just helped him get up into the wheelchair. Luckily, he was young.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
light.
Yeah.
He was light.
He was little, like, he was 15, but he was small.
That's good.
Yeah. If he was a bigger guy, I would have been like, you guys need to help us.
So then you guys brought him over to the emergency department.
Yeah.
Stayed with him till his
Yeah, and
parents
luckily
came.
his parents got there like right after we got there, so.
And no way over. We're just trying to make him, because he did. He looked very pale, and he said that happens to him when he gets injured. He just looks pale. Because I was nervous that he was gonna like pass out.
Yeah.
But he handled it well.
It sounds like, and imagine, I mean, kids like that are dopey, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, they're
Right.
doing dopey stuff, playing like tackle football in a concrete
I mean,
garage.
if you're gonna get hurt, I guess it's a good place to be.
That's
Right.
true. That's a very good point.
So maybe that's why they chose to play there.
But, they were probably really scared,
Mm.
right? Because
Oh, they were.
at that point, they're like 10-year-olds instead of 15-year-olds because now that something's happened that they're not prepared to deal with in any way, shape, or form. So you actually did show up at probably the perfect time.
Right. And someone that was willing to help even
Yeah.
if they were nervous.
Well, and I think, you think about recent news and stuff, I think so many people are, sadly, are afraid to, you feel like, is there something else really going on as opposed to what looks like it maybe is in front of you. But you were able to kind of look past that and think about it from, if this was my child, what would I want someone to do?
Yeah.
Because
a
they're
responsible
Yeah,
adult.
they ended up being the same age as my daughter. So I kind of joked with them a little bit because he had his Crocs on and they were in what I call safety mode. And he still fell. And I was like, and you're even in safety mode for your Crocs and you still fell down. And then I told my daughter, I told her that we helped him. And she's like, I can't believe you did that, Mom. And you talked to him like that?
So you embarrassed your child.
And she wasn't even there.
It's like extra kudos. You can show her the video.
I will. And then she'll be embarrassed that I talked about her here.
Good.
Yes.
Good. That's a parental win for sure with a teenager.
She's going to be so mad.
So what do you think it is? How long have you been a nurse?
Almost 22 years.
5.
5. So, well, big difference.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So what do you think it is about nurses, or you guys specifically, that, makes you want to help in times when probably a lot of other people wouldn't? Like, what do you think, as a newer nurse, what do you think that is?
I don't know. I just feel like I was like always innate kind of wanting to help. But especially when it's a young kid.
Yeah.
We're an old person, I guess, too.
It's just all there's less in
It's
between
just
people. You're
everyone.
not going to. What do you think, Jess? Like, I mean, you've been at this a little longer.
Yes, I do. I think it's kind of just embedded in me because the big joke is I don't tell people that I'm a nurse outside the hospital because I will not help you.
I don't believe you.
and that there in that moment truly proves it because I did help them, even though I could have very easily been like, nah, I don't work here. I can't assist you in any way. And things happen outside the hospital and I'll act like I don't see it. Then I stomp my feet and then I walk over and I'll be like, are you all right? And then I do end up helping because it's something that's just in me that I can't fight. I just want to make sure that people are okay. I have a large amount of empathy and sympathy, and it's just something that has always been in me since I was little.
And I think that's, I mean, I don't know. I think in today's world, you know, that's a really noble quality. I don't think you hear a lot of people feeling that way right now. I think more people would have gone with their hunch in that situation and thought, you know what, maybe there's someone hurt, but you know what, I'm not going into that garage so these, you know, this group of kids can steal my wallet after I just worked 12 hours,
I mean,
you know.
I think it also helps that I didn't have anything on me.
Like they didn't.
So you would have just pushed me and ran?
Yeah, exactly. She's got all the money. She's been at this longer. But I do. I think, you know, I think we as nurses sometimes underestimate that in ourselves or minimize. We talked a little bit about that, you know, before we started, that, you know, you don't like the attention or you don't want people to, you know, kind of put the spotlight on you. But I think now more than ever, let's put the spotlight on all of you, because that it really is, it's so important what you do every day here, just in your regular work, let alone in the parking garage or out in the world in the mall when you don't want to help, that I really think it speaks to that greater sense of wanting to help people and, you know that there is good and that there, you know, you can be a really big part of that and probably are one of the bigger parts of it than many people are. So anything you would want to share with our colleagues at large in terms of, you know, how you are able, so actually I will ask you that, because you said, you know, it's kind of, you don't want to, you know, you feel like you don't want to help sometimes, or you wish people wouldn't, but at the same time,
I still do.
you do, and I'm fairly certain you're really good at it. So, you know, what would you say to kind of our colleagues at large out there in the nursing world about how to, after 22 years, really be able to kind of stay in touch with that part of you, even though sometimes that's hard?
I guess I just look at it still, even now that it is somebody's family member, it is still someone, even if they're giving you a hard time, you know, they're still somebody's dad or mom or whomever, and at that time they just need help, and that's really what we're here to do.
Yeah, and that everybody's meaningful in some way, right? Because they mean something to somebody.
Yep.
That's a
And
good
if you
point.
keep working, you'll eventually get the recognition you deserve.
There you go. Well, how about you? I mean, you're not 22 years in, but four
I feel like
years.
it's been 22.
I bet it does some days.
Yeah.
So, as a you know, as a newer to practice nurse, you know, how would you say, even after 4 years, you know, how do you kind of stay centered in that, or, you know, find meaningfulness in that? That's what's important to bring to your work.
I mean, I don't know, I'm nervous, sorry.
It's all right.
You can do it.
I can do it.
I have faith in you.
I forget the question. Sorry, I'm really bad.
That's all right. You're not bad at this. You're good at this. All you have to do is say your opinion. So, what do you think it is, you know, what would you say to your nursing colleagues in terms of how do you kind of stay centered in that empathy and compassion that you have, clearly?
I mean, it just means something to someone, no matter who you're helping, whether it be the patient or a family member, so.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you? So, like, what does it mean to you to be obviously not only recognized but honored as someone who exemplifies compassion and empathy? Like, what does that mean for you as a person, but also as a nurse?
You know, it means a lot, because most days I leave here kind of angry. Like that day, I left here, I was leaving and I was actually like infuriated. Like I was so angry when I left here that day. And
It's
then
a rough time.
it was a very bad day that day. And when I left, immediately helping him and being able to assist him, the anger just like left me. Because I know no matter how angry and upset I get, I am still able to help people. I'm still able to assist people, because I'm not to like toot my own horn. I'm good at this. I'm good at assisting people. And I guess this kind of, even in like whatever way, you know, it kind of proves that I'm good at it. And
I agree.
well, I know, because I don't want to be like, what? I'm the best. Like it just sounds. I don't. Yeah.
It's not even about that. It's about that, that I think that illuminates it even a little bit differently, right? You guys had sounds like a horrible day.
Yeah, it's
so as
bad.
you're walking out, the last thing you want to be doing is dealing with anything. You want to go home.
Yeah,
and it was the holiday.
New Year's Day.
So you don't want to be here any longer at that point. You just want to get home and, chill and do what you do at home, right? So all the more that it really, I think, speaks to that it really is in there.
Yeah.
In both of you, and don't ever minimize that or underestimate that. It makes all the difference. It certainly makes the difference every day here. But I think for you guys, and in this example, and I'm really glad we were able to honor you both with the Daisy Award, not only in here, but out there too, that it matters, and that, nurses certainly make a difference in the hospital, but you carry that. You carry that out of here even when you don't want to. So I know if I trip in the mall, Jess, I want you there. She's going to walk past me, isn't she?
I'll help, but trust me, you will hear me stomp my feet. And probably I'll be like, oh, fine.
I'll never hear the end of it. Well, on behalf of all of us, thank you. Really, thank you, obviously, for this. But, I'm sure the parents would say the same. And the young man who I'm sure was scared to death and his little friends. But, we're very proud of the work you do every day, and we very much appreciate it. So please know that, and keep up the good work for another 22 years.